Hello, everybody. Welcome to another author interview. Today we have with us Miss Swarali, and I would like to introduce her. She is a young author, one of the young authors that we have, one of the youngest we have, and she is currently studying in Elpro International School, and she has lived in America for 8 years before permanently moving to India. She has recently published this book with us called Secrets Untold, and it's a fiction book. And I would like Swarali to introduce her book a little bit in her own words. Can you tell us what this book is about, Swarali?
Yes, so Secrets Untold is about a young teenager like me. She embarks on this journey which is completely unknown, mysterious, and
Okay.
she accidentally stumbles upon a world
Hmm?
which is so different from the world we're living in. It has vampires. It's home to
Vampire.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, vampires. And so she gets scared, of course, like who wouldn't get scared? But then she realizes the vampires that we know of, they're different from the vampires that actually exist. They are not bloodthirsty vampires. They're actually really
Okay.
nice. So then she learns a secret, truth about herself and about her family.
Hmm?
And well, it's like a roller coaster. She goes up and down in this journey.
That's amazing.
Mm.
So, how did you come up with the idea for this book? What was the motivation behind writing this book?
The motivation behind writing this book was that I had dreams. I like when I sleep, I had dreams where I escape into this world full of fantasies, full like this world which I made myself, and it's amazing because you get to make these characters up. So I started writing. I actually wrote the last part of my book before I even started writing the first part. So
That's really interesting.
yeah, I actually thought about the ending before I thought about the starting, and so I just moved on.
Mm-hmm. That's a really interesting way. You mentioned that you wrote the ending of the book before you wrote the whole book. Can you tell a little bit about that? Where did the ending come from? Without giving any spoilers, of course.
So the ending was like because I wanted her to. Okay, so how do I do this without giving spoilers? So she overestimates herself, and that causes dangers to arise around her. And
Oh,
yeah. So I wanted this character. I just dreamt of having this character in my book, which overestimates herself, and that's her problem. That causes people around her to suffer. And so in my first part, it's not a good ending. And the
right. So this is an interesting view because a lot of the protagonists are usually underestimating themselves. So this is a new take, a protagonist overestimating herself. How long have you been thinking about this book? How many years or how many months have you been thinking about this?
Actually, I've thought about a book which is different from this book, and I've been thinking about that book for 10 years so far since I was
Wow.
yeah, because since I was young, I wanted a place where vampires exist, but I
Mhm.
hadn't really thought about the actual book. Like I hadn't thought about Secrets Untold back then, but I wanted to write a book where vampires exist. So
Right.
it's been a long time.
It's been a really long time. If you say it's been 10 years, then it's been a long time. So what motivated you to write the book right now? So you've been
Uh,
10 years, right?
Yeah, I wanted to write it as soon as I could. So I'm young, obviously, and I just wanted to write down my imagination before I forget. Because before this, I've written many books and I've forgotten all of them. But this book was really special to me because I felt connected to it some way. Because in the main character, I see myself.
Right.
So I just wanted this book to actually get published. The sooner, the better.
Is that why you chose this one instead of all the other ones? Because you felt more connected to this book.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about your protagonist then? How you connect to her?
Yeah, so because she overestimates herself, that's one thing. She's scared of everything almost, because what she's been living in the human world for 14 years before she just accidentally stumbles upon this huge different world full of vampires, and So that's why she's obviously scared of everything. She doesn't like trust anyone. But slowly she learns that this is actually her home. This wasn't like a different world. It was her home. And I find that actually, I've been living in America my whole life, and then I came to India, right? So it's like a completely different world because America and India are different. And India is my home. So when I moved here, then I felt more connected to it. Like this is my home.
So the coming home experience is what you relate to most with your protagonist.
Yeah.
Right. And how does it feel to have the book in your hand now that you have completed it? It's been a dream for so long, and you finally have the book in your hand, the published
I was
one.
crying. I was literally crying. Like it's like having because this book was made by me, right? Every single
Right.
word, every single dialogue in this, I wrote it down. So it's like it didn't feel real when I got the book in my hands. So I was like crying.
Right. It's a beautiful feeling having your book in your hand, isn't it?
Mhm.
So, one interesting question for you. How did people start perceiving you after you published the book? Did people's perspectives about you change?
Yes, people started noticing me. So before I was just like a normal student. Nobody like cared. They were minding their own businesses. But after that, like the teacher didn't even know my name. But then after I wrote a book, and she's like, "Oh my God, you wrote a book!" And then she told like the whole class, and then they were like, "Congratulations! Oh my God, we want to be your friend!" Like that.
So people
It gave me
started
more importance.
talking more.
Mhm.
Does that feel nice to get noticed like this?
Yeah, it does.
So you're famous now.
Yeah.
While writing this book, what did you learn? Like about writing, about yourself, some new experiences that you came across while writing this book?
So I've been writing since I was like really young, like writing like small diaries, journals, and it's when you suffer through something, when you have trauma, some people talk, some people like to sing, some people it's different people have different ways of dealing with that experience.
Right.
My experience is writing. I write down everything that has happened to me, the good and the bad, and so
Right.
like writing is a huge part of my life. And
Hmm.
writing this book has taught me, like, it's brought me more closer to writing. And now I cannot imagine life without writing.
So writing is a huge part of your life, and you just keep on writing every day. Are you still writing something?
Yeah, I write every single day.
So any new plans for a new book while writing your
Second book,
every day?
the
Oh,
second series.
that's coming. So you are planning on writing more books
Yep.
in the same universe, in the same series as
Yeah,
Secrets Untold?
yeah, because the ending of Secrets Untold was like a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Oh wow. I love cliffhangers personally.
Yeah, my friends were killing me. They're like, we need to know what happens next.
That's a feeling, right? That is a whole different feeling of a cliffhanger and wanting to know what happens next. That
Yeah.
longing is the key, I guess.
Uh-huh.
What, while writing, did you feel like was a miraculous moment? Like, aha, this is it, kind of like a moment. Any particular
Well,
moment you remember?
it's like the chapter where she's like, "This is my home." Like she decides that I'm gonna do everything to protect this. It's that was an important part in the journey because everything that happens afterwards, she does it to protect her home. So like this moment is like technically like the uphill,
Oh, okay. So that's the breakthrough point for the protagonist,
Mhm.
the rising action, as we call it.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else that you have to share about the book that you specifically want the readers to know? Like this is something you need to pay attention on while
Uh,
reading.
there was this character. So he died. I'm not gonna say which character because yeah. So he
Spoiler.
yeah. This character died. He was like a short, like he was in the book for a short amount of time, but actually he's like a really important person. And I've described him like his physique. Like I've described him his physique, and the physique is actually really important for who he is. It connects to
Okay.
someone else.
Oh. So there's a lot of things happening in the book that readers have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's because it depends on what type of reader you are. If you're paying really attention to it, then you'll be like, "Oh, I know who he is," and but the others are like, "Oh, he's just a character."
Oh, so you have to pay really good attention towards the descriptions, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier you mentioned used to dream about these worlds, like escaping into some world, right? So the world that you have designed in your book, was it completely based on something that you dreamed of? Like you actually had a dream where you were in that world? The whole descriptions of the place, the Golden Gate, and everything that you mentioned in the book, the
Yeah.
key and all. So
Mhm.
was it
Well,
something that you have visited in your own vision?
yeah, actually, I had a dream of like I was the main character in my dream, and so everything that happened to me was actually based on a dream. Yeah, so this place, but then I researched more about the place. So it's like Agartha, and that was in my
Mhm.
dream. That was a part of it. So I had to research what Agartha is actually, and then I used it in my dream. So some places I researched about, but most of the places were from my dream.
Okay. So how was the research experience then? Researching for your book?
Oh, it was like I was having this exam and I had to study.
So writing a book is no less than writing an exam,
Yeah, but it's like the fun way of writing things.
huh? It's fun, yeah. Writing a book is much more fun than studying.
Yes.
That reminds me, how are your studies? Like, what are your subjects of interest?
Science.
I was not expecting that answer actually.
Actually, I like chemistry. It's like because when you mix two compounds, they make like a different color completely. It's magic. It's magical. So that's the only thing I like in science. The physics.
Right, so you like chemistry because it seems magical, like your
Yeah.
world. Can you describe that world a little bit for the viewers? How it
It's
looks and
yeah. So my world, not my world, Ashley's
you
world.
can call it your world because you've created it.
Yes, the Hidden Kingdom, that's the world's name, right? So the Hidden Kingdom is actually in a different galaxy. I didn't mention this, but like the galaxy we live in, it's the Milky Way, right? And then the galaxy which the Hidden Kingdom is part of, it's the Andromeda galaxy, which is like the nearest
Okay.
galaxy. Yeah. And in that galaxy, there's this planet which is similar to Earth, but
Hmm?
it's different. And over there, it's like magical. Like there are leopards with wings. There are
Wow.
dragons. Yeah, and many more creatures which I haven't yet written down. And the food is of course different, but they taste like human food, kind of.
Hmm?
And yes, no, vampires do not drink blood.
That's
At
a
least,
different kind of vampires I'm listening for the first time.
yeah, well, not these vampires. These vampires don't drink blood. The bad vampires, like
Okay.
Eris, they drink blood.
The villain of the story.
Yeah, it's because of reasons which you'll get to know in the second book.
Oh, so there's
Yeah.
cliffhangers there as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so this whole intergalactical travel I was not expecting.
Yeah. Actually, I was not that as well. But I just like I was like, oh wait, let's make it in a different galaxy. That'd be cool.
Uh, uh, so far, I was expecting that this is all happening on Earth, but now that it's happening on a different planet entirely, makes it even more
Yeah.
interesting. Um, so for the viewers, I'll show the book again. This is the book Secrets Untold by Swarali Fere. This is Swarali, as you can see her in the video as well. And the link for this book will be in the description. For the buying link, the Amazon link will be in the description. So I am sure everyone is very, very much interested in this book right now after everything that Swarali has told us. I personally am really interested in reading this book
Thank
now.
you.
So, if anyone is interested, the link is already in the description. And hope you all enjoyed this interview. Thank you, Swarali. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.